Serena, I did yours yesterday for the new moon, but the phone just wasn't having it, so I couldn't finish it. I'm just starting a new one for you. They're already shuffled. I'm going to cut them. Okay, what covers you? So this situation centers around either a young woman that you know or encountering these energies within yourself of idealism, optimism. So no card in the tarot is good or bad. Just like everything in life, everything has pros and cons. And so to see this, the benefits would be seeing the best in everybody and everything. Being idealistic, believing in what may seem to be impossible to others, and having faith in things that are maybe a long shot, seeing the beauty everywhere and the joy. Downside of being in this energy is not being as realistic as you should be, not setting realistic expectations, not picking up on red flags or noticing issues that should be addressed, or just simply glossing over them in favor of only highlighting the good things. So either you've encountered those aspects within yourself and you have like a bright, new, youthful outlook on a life or a particular situation, or you've met a young woman who is just still full of belief in everyone and everything, and that still believes that she can save the world, or that not necessarily that she can save the world. That wouldn't necessarily be her, but that everybody's good inside, and I believe that too. Anyways, I digress. So I usually start out like that, like I'll go on for a couple minutes with the first few cards, so I apologize. What crosses you? So what affects this? And it's interesting that we have another court card. I'm starting to feel like these are energies within yourself. So you've got coming into play here the youthful innocence, this unjaded outlook on life and seeing all the best in everything, but it's crossed by having been through enough experiences and having gained enough wisdom that some part of you understands that life really isn't all sunshine and rainbows. This guy, he's not grouchy, nor is he unfeeling in any kind of way, but he's been through some experiences that have taught him through pain and other things that we should be more aware, and we should be less generous with our assessments of other people and situations. So I don't know a nice way to say this, because it's not a bad thing. He's just on guard, and he's not going to trust anybody right away, and he's not going to believe in a situation right away. He's going to analyze it, and he's going to look at the facts and the logic. Does this balance up, and is this actually like a real thing? And he might run it through the ringer because he really just wants to test the validity of everything, which is completely at odds with this. Is the complete opposite. This is like young feminine energy, and this is mature masculine energy. These can still both be you. Masculine energy is just more active, like the yang, it goes out to get it. Feminine energy is more receptive. So not only are we going from a receptive, idealistic viewpoint, which is crossed by within you also an active, more critical viewpoint, but yeah, it's almost like there's two different parts of you that are completely at odds, but it could work for you. I mean, these two things can also blend together. That can give you the best of both worlds, the wisdom and experience, but also still the youthful, idealistic outlook, and that's not a bad thing. And where this came from, so at the foundation of your issue, this would be, so autumn would be the suit of pentacles. So this is anything to do with material things like a job and a family and things like that. Now, as far as pace goes, this is a more slow pace. The Prince of Autumn, he's more methodical. So this is saying that this situation was brought about by deciding to move toward your goals in a more prudent manner. As far as it came to homestead, family, perhaps your outlook on housekeeping or parenting or something like that has been, you want to research everything, and you want to go at a safe and reasonable pace, and you don't want to jump into anything without getting all the facts, and you want to have your priorities all in order. At least that's where this started to get you here. In your recent past, you have recently begun something new, or some new event has happened, which is just the beginning of a journey, but this is bringing you great emotional delight. And it's not anything that would be like a thing. It's not a material thing. It's not really quantifiable. It's just something that gives you joy. Just true, unadulterated, inner, pure happiness, for no other reason than for happiness' sake. And it has a lot to do with this, because it's like you've freshly been awakened, newly born, to see all the beauty that's been around you that you've become blind to, all of the joy that you got jaded to and you forgot about. And so it's just seeing the whole world through new eyes. A lot of times, that can be, it's a child, that's through childlike eyes, seeing the world the way the world sees it. Whether by having a child remind us of how magnificent and magical everything really is, we just forgot, or by starting something new that gives you a fresh take on everything that you kind of took for granted. So this is full of possibilities. You're just at the beginning. Nobody knows where it will go. Neither do you. It all depends on the choices that you make, but it does make you happy, so most likely you will continue pursuing that in your near future. So, you're taking on a lot. It's a labor of love. Like, all of the responsibilities that you have, they're not things that you're resentful about or that you would trade. These are all things that you've done to either lighten the load for those you care about, or to take care of people that you love, and although it's spring, so it's not necessarily like a material thing where it would have specifically to do with home and family, because it's more, the focus here is that you're motivated, you're passionate, you really enjoy helping. However, because of that, because it gives you such joy to lend your energy to those you care about, you sometimes may take on too much. And actually, you might find in the near future that because of your giving and passionate heart, that you have spread yourself too thin and put yourself in too many directions, taken on too many things, that you're starting to feel a little bit burned out. Not to say that you're going to get angry or resentful, but perhaps, you can delegate some of the tasks that you've taken on, or limit or prioritize how much of your time you're going to expend, and make sure to take care of yourself too as well. And what crowns you, the best thing that you have going for you. So you have, this is so interesting when it's in this position, because typically this, and again, there's not really a negative card, but this is like a card of betrayal, or somebody taking something from you, being more devious, but not in a malicious way. So she's just young, and she's just thoughtless. She sees this thing she wants, and she's skating away. It's in her hand, and she's skating away. There's no thought of, I'm going to punish this person, I'm going to steal this thing. It's just, like that childlike impetuousness, or the impulsivity. You grab something and you're walking away with it. You don't even really know what you're doing. So I'll have to get back to that one, because I'm not sure. Either the best thing that you have going for you in this situation is that somebody has taken something from you, but in the end, that ended up being a blessing, and you also have the capacity to have the compassion and understanding that you didn't take it personally, and that it wasn't you, and you don't harbor any hatred or anger toward this person, because you understand that it was the best that they could do with what they had at the time. Conversely, it could be that you, innocently enough, without intending to or realizing what you're doing, took something from somebody. But I don't really know how that would be in the crowning position. So like I said, we will get back to that. And I'm sorry that I talk so fast. I've been really working on it. It's just it's a thing. My boss just talked to me about it yesterday, and I literally cannot slow down. But anyways, you in this situation, this is good. You are very motivated and optimistic, but and there's optimism here, But this is more, with summer has to do with emotions and love and things like that. This is more fire, right? And while she's dreamy and she's like idealistic and head in the clouds, she's not really doing anything, maybe just like sitting around and looking at everything and feeling everything and noticing everything and how awesome and beautiful it is. This is the same. It's optimism, it's energy, it's enthusiasm, but he's going out to get it. And this confirms also that this masculine energy most likely, it definitely is just an aspect of yourself that you've encountered. Because you, in this situation, you are going out to seek the things that make you happy. You are pursuing what sets your heart on fire, what makes you feel alive, what you're passionate about. And again, that's probably how you ended up, or that you will soon end up in a situation where you're burning a lot of candles at. I don't even think that's a saying, but you know what I mean? You've got a lot going on because of this just go do this and go do that, and I want to do this type of energy, it's awesome. I love being around people that are in that sun energy, so there's nothing wrong with any of that. Your environment, something that has to do with this situation, it affects this situation, but it is not you. So this is something about ego is in the regular deck devil, but people get so caught up in that word that they just don't tune it out and they think it's bad. It's not. We do have a material existence. We have to provide for ourselves. We have to feed ourselves. We have to clothe ourselves. It's not like we can be, oh, I have no ego, I'm superior. Well, then you wouldn't survive. That's what it's for. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying material pleasures, with just enjoyment for enjoyment's sake. That's totally fine. That's what we're here for. But this comes about when we start to forget that there's anything else. When we put too much importance on just objects and things and money and status. And also to a point where we become enslaved to those things in some type of bondage or addiction, where our perspective gets skewed and we lose touch with our emotional or spiritual self because we're too busy chasing the almighty dollar or collecting things that won't matter in the end. So in your environment, that's going on, whether it's somebody that you know that's dealing with that, who's temporarily, just lost touch with their spiritual self, or it could just be some type of focus in your life around you that's pressuring you to focus too much on material. You need the money and you need the stuff and you need to just go, and it's trying to pull you away from a balance and from your connectedness with your inner self. Hopes or fears when it comes to this situation. So you are hoping to be able to move a little more quickly toward your goal and have a little more fun with it. Enjoy it a little bit. So like I said, this here being the foundation of your issue, this all started from deciding to take a slow, methodical, well thought out approach. It's smart and it's wise, but let's face it, it's boring, okay? Like I said it. Yes, we do. I'm not advocating for being reckless. That's not at all what I'm saying, but when you're trying to, do the right thing and go by the book and make the right decisions and all that, you can start to get disconnected from your passion, from your fire, your inner fire. When you've got that here. And now, you want to start moving towards something a little bit more quickly, a little bit more fun, a little bit more unpredictable. Just to follow what? Not necessarily even just what makes you happy, which is over here. You've got that just starting here. That's a new thing. But also just what makes you alive, what makes you bright and glow inside, and what just gets you excited and amped up. So you would like to start moving towards something that does make you feel that way. So we've got a pretty good balance too here of different energies. We've got like the responsible and the material stuff, and you do also have like just love and pure actual love and beauty and everything. And we've also got a little bit of emotional pain, which we have to revisit that, but a lot of fire. So it's good that it looks like you're seeking to have balance. You want to make sure that you're being responsible and your needs are met, but you also want to make sure you're having fun, and you also want to make sure that you just have emotional satisfaction. So the only thing I'm not Well, I mean, yeah, this last card over here. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. Your possible outcome if you continue on your current path. And of course, you can make different decisions anytime. So this is not just written in stone. This is just where you're likely to head. If this sounds like something that you wouldn't want to happen, just become more aware of the choices that you're making. Be conscious of what the results will be of the decisions you make, and make sure that that's in line with where you're trying to go. So far, though, based on what you're currently doing, you well, this is good. So you would end up. This is actually really. Sorry, one second. It was Tristan's friend knocking at the door. Okay, anyway, so this is actually good because this is saying, your possible outcome is that you will decide to stay toward a more sensible and prudent path, but you will learn to incorporate a youthful, you can still have fun. You'll realize that you can attend to your duties, but it doesn't have to just be work, that you can find enjoyment and excitement even in the most mundane of everyday tasks. It's not what you're doing, but the energy that you do it with that determines how that makes you feel. So you might look at, housework and dishes and that's just stuff that I have to do, that I have to get out of the way, and then I want to do some fun stuff. However, the reality of this current situation is that you do have a lot of responsibilities to take care of, and it's just not reasonable to neglect them. It's just not possible. That's not an option for you. So your next best option, because you do want to have a little bit of fun and excitement, is to find out, how to take a fresh take on your everyday duties, or how to still be able to have a youthful outlook on life. Like everything is new, even though, when we were little kids, we had responsibilities and things like that then, but we still had fun. The world was still this awesome place, and anything was possible, and magic was everywhere. And we can take this, the message of this is that you'll learn how to take that childlike perspective into your adult undertakings and be able to see the love, joy, beauty, excitement, and possibilities everywhere, even while attending to your responsibilities. So that's really good. But I want to go back up to this. So and it's strange too, because it's the only winter. So that's telling me that, you really haven't had a whole lot, at least as it pertains to this particular situation, you haven't had a whole lot of hurt, sadness, fights, conflict, emotional suffering, really of any type. And the one card that you have that does have to do with emotional suffering is in your crowning position, which is actually in your favor, regardless. I'm going to draw a clarifier card. Because, and maybe you already know. That's the thing. When I do a reading for you, I just ask that I be the messenger for whatever it is that you need to hear. I don't always know what that means. Most of the time I don't. I just read the cards and I trust that it'll resonate with you. So you might already know what that has to do with, but just in case, because I just have absolutely no clue, I'm going to draw a clarifier here. Okay. So it's another 7 also. So with that one, that's when, you feel like people are jumping down your throat. People are forcing you to defend your decisions and to explain yourself, and you've got it coming from all angles, and you have to just stand strong, even though, despite the barrage of like questions and judgments and criticisms, like it feels like everyone's attacking you. So perhaps that was you then. Yeah, all right. Well, the best thing that you have going for you then, even though you may not have done it in the most, what's the word? Like in the best way, you did kind of sneak off or leave a situation. And there was, it was nothing intentional or personal, I should say, toward anybody that may have been involved in that, if there even were other people. You maybe didn't take the suggested exit of that, but it's sort of, it could be like, like a sneaking away also. But again, so she's sneaking away with a thing, and like I was telling you before, she's definitely not intending to do any harm. She's just thinking about this moment. And perhaps there was a situation in which maybe somebody was counting on you to do something, or they expected you to do something, and rather than having direct conversation with them, you sort of just, maybe you made something up. I have other plans and I can't do that, which isn't really true, right? It's kind of deceitful, but it wasn't because you don't like that person. It was just, it didn't work for you. But either way, whatever it was that you have left has actually been the best thing for you. Because whatever that situation was bringing you also, it was either getting to a point where it would be, or it already was, where you just felt looked down on and judged and criticized and considered less than. And it was very uncomfortable for you, and it was stressful, especially with all this other stuff you have going on. I mean, you've got a lot going on already, a lot of things in your life, and you really don't need to have that added pressure of having to explain yourself or to feel, you shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable. That doesn't make you feel happy. And it looks like, that since that time, you've actually started to get back in touch with true happiness. So that tells me that, yeah, you may have been taking on some stress. I still have no idea what that was. But all I can tell you is that you didn't perhaps end it on the best of terms. And perhaps there was a little bit of innocent deceit just as a way of getting out of it. But you just couldn't. You just couldn't. And you had too many other things to worry about than having to deal with that. So if that part doesn't make sense, I really do apologize. I'm just doing the best I can. But I will certainly look up the sevens as well. Typically, I do read intuitively, and most of everything really did seem to come through okay, but I think maybe just I overthought that one, and I tried to make it make sense, and as soon as ego get involved, then it's all over. So I'm going to stop talking so you can listen to this. I hope you had a great new moon yesterday and that everything's going well with you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.